Welcome back to the 49ers Goldmine. I'm Steven Moran.
I'm Jeff Ellis. Did you miss us? It is November 1st, 2011.
We missed you, but it doesn't look like the 49ers have missed us.
Team did just fine without us. They're like a shiny penny, all sparkly and beautiful as things.
6-1. Well, we're going to talk about that very important win over the Orange Helmets.
We're going to take a look at the state of the franchise and where the team stands right now.
And we'll also take a look ahead to our trip to D.C. to face the Redskins.
I thought you were going to say our trip to the UK. I'm like, no, we're long over that.
Yes.
We're long over that.
You're not even saying fancy.
No, I don't fancy that I say fancy anymore. However, a very important win over those ugly orange helmets. Where are they up there? Way at the back of the AFC South.
The Cleveland Browns, 20-10 victory from the San Francisco 49ers. Now, look, Jeff, a lot of people are saying this game was an ugly win for the 49ers. Last I checked, they don't put ugly win. There's not an ugly win column. It's wins and losses, not wins, ugly wins and losses.
They all count the same. They all count as a win. They all count equally in the standings. And as I said, there's no such thing as an ugly win to me in the NFL because you have to prepare for and defeat an NFL caliber team. And really, with the exception of the Miami Dolphins, all of these teams are good teams, and all of these teams could beat any team on any given Sunday. And hell, the Dolphins nearly won last week.
With the exception of the Miami Dolphins.
Dolphins are that bad.
Ouch. All right, but look, hats off to Harbaugh.
Hats off, by the way,
That's
fella.
right, it did. Hats off to Harbaugh and that whole organization. They are playing good football. And even when you got to win. Every week, you got to beat the team that the NFL puts in front of you. And right now, with the exception of the Cowboys and that crazy overtime loss, the San Francisco 49ers have done just that. Yeah, it wasn't pretty, but it's still a win. 6-1. That is the second best record in the league. The only team that has a better record, the defending Super Bowl champion Green Bay Packers.
Now, if I told you at the beginning of the season, would you take that? Would you take being number 2 in Jeff's all-powerful rankings come week 9 of the NFL season? And most of you would have said, you're crazy, what are you smoking, and where do I get some? And it's somewhere near Haight-Ashbury. However, now look, let's transition here to the state of the franchise now.
State of the franchise.
Things, Steven, could not be better. The team has never been off to a start this good since the guy wearing that jersey right behind Steven there.
Yes.
Steve Young was under center
Number
in
8.
Candlestick
You got to
Park.
go back to the late 90s. And
80s.
Jeffrey, 90s.
90s, sorry.
90s. If you go back to the 80s,
98.
you're going to get Montana.
13 years.
That's been a while. Jeffrey can't do the math. So give him a second.
Good with math.
But, Jeffrey, this is what you got to look at. Jim Harbaugh has become the 5th head coach for the San Francisco 49ers to start his career 6-1.
How would you like to have your names mentioned amongst the elite 49er coaches of all time? Seriously.
All those guys.
You guys serious? Yes, we're serious about this. So your record is 6-1, and as everyone in the league loves to say, you are what your record says you are.
You are.
You sit atop your division, and not just by some small margin either. I want you to take a quick look. I intentionally did not move these helmets. You've got the Rams, the Cardinals, and the Sea Sloths. Sea Sloth's next best team, they have 2 freaking wins.
And all 3 of those teams Jeff just mentioned, 4 wins between them. If you look at every other division in the league,
4 wins between them.
Every single division is tight. It's either tied or there's a game in between the division leader and second place. In this division, the Niners, with one more win, can pretty much wrap off a playoff berth.
They absolutely can, and it's sick. And so, as I mentioned in my all-powerful rankings, I got the 49ers at number 2. Next closest is the Rams at 27th.
That is a huge
that
chasm,
gulf, Steven, is
between the Niners and the Rams.
That gulf, needs to be noted, is the largest gulf in the history of Jeff's all-powerful rankings.
The history that started this year?
It started about 5 weeks ago.
Okay.
However, it's the largest gulf in the history of the powerful rankings.
Well, that's good to note. There's something that hopefully other teams don't aspire to.
Absolutely. Now,
other thing we should note about the San Francisco 49ers, part of this 6-1 record, which is really nice, Injuries. Yeah, they had the Braylon Edwards injury. He was back. So things are looking pretty good right now for the San Francisco 49ers.
They're looking really good. The only thing in the injury front, defensive end Ray McDonald, who I think is second on the team with sacks. He's nursing a hammy. He left the game a little early, but he still is – he's just basically being monitored. It's not that he couldn't go.
The day-to-day situation.
Now, we look ahead to the Washington, D.C., those Redskins.
This weekend we have a Redskins team that started 2-0 and got everybody excited, and now all of a sudden, not so much.
The wheels on the bus go flying off.
They're 3-4, Jeffrey. They had made a switch at quarterback. They went from Grossman to Beck. And Beck, they got shut out for the first time in the history of the Shanahan regime. He got shut out last week, 23-0 by the Bills. Look, the 49ers can't get all cocky.
No.
They can't get all full of themselves and look, we 6-1, we all that in a bag of chips, because that's look what happened to the Saints last week.
Yes.
You start to get a little cocky after you put a 60 burger on Indianapolis and you lose to the Rams.
How did the lowly Rams get their first win? They didn't get cocky. However, they took a team for granted. And as was the case with the Cleveland Browns last week, this Redskins team is better than the Browns team, not by a lot. But I think that Jim Harbaugh has this team so focused and locked in right now that he would slap somebody silly if he got any idea that they were taking a team lightly.
And they're not going to take the Redskins lightly. I've got the Niners, though, taking care of business. They're going to go on the road. They've already defeated the Eagles. They almost defeated the Cowboys. I'm sure they're going to take care of the Redskins. They're going to take care of the East. What's that?
What are they going to win by?
Double digits. I say 10
win.
points or more.
Woo!
10 points or more.
I was tempted to say 10 points, but it sounded like a lot, so I'm going to say 9.
All right. I'm Steven Miranda.
Jeff Ellis.
For the 49ers Goldmine.